You know what absolutely shakes a narcissist to their core? It's not your kindness. It's not your love. It's not even your forgiveness. It's your unshakable mind, that unbreakable inner strength you've built. It's like holding up a mirror they can't stand to look into. And today, I'm going to give you the 8 undeniable signs that you have a mind so strong. It doesn't just make them uncomfortable. It terrifies them. Let me tell you something. Narcissists feed on control. They feed on doubt, fear, and insecurity. But when you've done the work, when you've gone through the fire and you've built a mind that refuses to bend, suddenly you're not their food anymore, you're their threat. Sign 1, you don't take the bait. A narcissist thrives on pulling you into drama, but your mind is so strong that you don't get hooked. You've learned the power of pause, the power of silence, and the power of not playing their game. That kind of control over your emotions, that scares them more than any words ever could. Sign 2, you see through the illusion. You've sharpened your intuition to the point where manipulation stands out like a red flag in a snowstorm. They can't run their old tricks on you anymore, because you see behind the mask, and when you see the truth, you can't be fooled. That makes you dangerous in their world. Sign 3, you don't seek their approval. They can't control you with praise, and they can't break you with criticism. Your validation comes from within, not from some false pedestal they place you on. That independence, it's like kryptonite to their ego. Sign 4, you set boundaries and enforce them. It's one thing to say you have boundaries. It's another thing to enforce them without guilt. You've mastered the art of no, without over-explaining, without apologizing, and narcissists hate boundaries they can't break. Sign 5, you control your energy. You've realized that not everyone deserves access to you. You guard your peace like a fortress, only letting in those who respect and uplift you. That means the narcissist no longer has a VIP pass to your life. Sign 6, you choose logic over emotional manipulation. They throw chaos at you, hoping to cloud your mind. But you think clearly, you question, you fact-check, you stay grounded in truth instead of getting swept away by their emotional storms. Sign 7, you keep growing without them. Nothing shakes a narcissist more than watching you thrive. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, without their involvement. You've proven you don't need them to grow. In fact, you grow because they're no longer holding you back. Sign 8, you're not afraid to walk away. The ultimate power. You know you're whole, complete, and capable on your own. You're not trapped by fear of being alone. You can, and will, walk away from anything that compromises your self-worth. And when they realize they can't trap you, that's when the fear really sets in. Listen to me. Having a mind this strong didn't happen overnight. It happened because you faced pain, you faced lies, you faced manipulation, and instead of breaking, you built. You are living proof that no matter who tried to dim your light, you can rise brighter, stronger, and untouchable. And when a narcissist looks at you now, they're not seeing the same person they thought they could control. They're seeing a force they can't handle, a storm they can't stop, and a strength they can't destroy. One of the clearest signs that you have a mind so strong it terrifies narcissists is your refusal to take the bait they throw your way. Narcissists thrive on emotional reactions. They feed off chaos, conflict, and the feeling of being in control of your emotions. Every insult, every subtle jab, every passive-aggressive remark is carefully designed to provoke you into a reaction. The moment you react, they feel like they've won. But when you've built mental strength, you don't give them that satisfaction. You've trained yourself to pause before responding, to step back and evaluate the situation logically rather than emotionally. You've learned that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every attack requires a counterattack. Instead of getting pulled into their whirlwind of drama, you choose to remain calm, composed, and detached. This isn't about weakness. It's about strategy. You understand that reacting only gives them more ammunition, more opportunities to twist your words, and more fuel to paint you as the problem. Your ability to remain unshaken sends a powerful message. You are in control, not them. This kind of self-control comes from experience and inner work. You've likely been through situations in the past where you took the bait and ended up drained, frustrated, and questioning yourself. But over time, you realized that the real power lies in not engaging. You discovered that when you refuse to be triggered, the narcissist's tactics lose their potency. What terrifies them most is the fact that they can't predict you anymore. They can't push your buttons because you've disconnected those emotional triggers. They can't lure you into arguments because you've decided your peace is more valuable than their attention. You've mastered the art of emotional detachment in situations that once would have consumed you. Your silence becomes louder than any words you could speak. Your calmness becomes a wall they can't climb, and your refusal to engage forces them to face their own emptiness, because without your reaction, they're left with nothing to feed on. A mind that terrifies narcissists is one that sees them exactly as they are, without the rose-colored glasses they rely on you to wear. Narcissists survive on illusions. They carefully craft a false image of themselves to appear superior, charming, or even victimized when it serves their agenda. They weave stories, twist facts, and use emotional manipulation to keep you confused and questioning your own perception. But when your mind is strong, you see past the facade. You recognize the inconsistencies, the subtle lies, the way their actions never align with their words. You've developed a level of self-awareness and discernment that makes their tactics transparent. The moment they try to guilt, trip you, you identify it for what it is. When they play the hero in public and the villain in private, you're not fooled by the act. You've learned to watch patterns, not promises, and this ability strips them of their greatest weapon, deception. What shakes them most is knowing you're no longer under their spell. They can't use charm to win you back because you've seen the reality beneath the mask. They can't gaslight you into doubting yourself because you've learned to trust your own judgment over their words. You've built a mental filter that rejects manipulation before it can take root. This vision doesn't come from cynicism, it comes from clarity. You've done the work to understand human behavior, to observe without immediate reaction, and to separate emotion from truth. You've accepted that not everyone has good intentions, and you refuse to ignore red flags just because someone tries to hide them behind sweet words or grand gestures. When you see through a narcissist's image, you take away their ability to control the narrative. That terrifies them because control is their lifeline. Without the ability to shape how you see them, they lose their grip on you completely. And when they realize you're not only aware of their tactics, but also immune to them, they know their time of influence in your life is over. Narcissists thrive on the belief that your self-worth is tied to their opinion of you. They use praise as a leash to pull you closer and criticism as a whip to keep you in line. Their approval becomes a dangling carrot. They make you work for it, then take it away to keep you chasing. But when you've developed a strong mind, you step completely out of that game. You no longer measure your value by how they see you. Your confidence is rooted in something deeper, your own principles, your own growth, and your own self-respect. This independence from their validation is what truly unsettles them. When they compliment you and you appreciate it without becoming dependent on it, they lose the ability to control you through flattery. When they criticize you and you don't crumble or beg for their acceptance, they realize their words no longer have the power to define you. You've built an inner foundation so solid that no external approval or disapproval can shake it. The truth is, you've learned that seeking approval from people who thrive on control is a trap. It forces you to constantly mold yourself into who they want you to be while abandoning who you really are. Now, you live authentically, even if it means they don't like it. You've embraced the fact that your worth doesn't rise or fall based on anyone's fleeting opinion. This shift in mindset strips them of one of their favorite tools, emotional dependency. When you stop looking to them for validation, you take back the power they once held over your emotions. They can't keep you hooked with love, bombing, and they can't manipulate you with silent treatment. You're no longer playing the role they assigned you, you're writing your own script. Narcissists hate this because their entire control system depends on making you feel like you're never enough without them. But when you stop seeking their approval, you show them you already are enough. And that truth is something they can't stand to face. They can no longer push you into proving yourself to them because you've already proven yourself to you. A narcissist's worst nightmare is someone who knows where their lines are and refuses to let anyone cross them. Narcissists operate by testing limits, pushing past comfort zones, and slowly eroding your boundaries until you feel like you have no control left. But when your mind is strong, you don't just set boundaries. You enforce them with absolute certainty, without apology, and without hesitation. You've learned that a boundary is meaningless if it's only spoken and never acted upon. You no longer justify your limits to people who have no intention of respecting them. You don't feel the need to explain why you won't tolerate certain behaviors. Your no is final, and you deliver it without guilt, because you understand that protecting your mental and emotional space is not selfish. It's essential. You've shifted from trying to please everyone to prioritizing your own well-being, and that shift takes away the narcissist's ability to dictate the terms of your life. For narcissists, boundaries are obstacles to control. They will try to guilt, trip you, shame you, or provoke you into backing down, but you've learned their tactics and have developed the inner strength to stand firm, even when they push harder. You no longer give them unlimited access to your time, your energy, or your emotions. You decide who gets close to you, how much of yourself you share, and what behaviors are acceptable. Enforcing boundaries without guilt means you're no longer trapped by the fear of being disliked, misunderstood, or abandoned. You've accepted that people who genuinely care for you will respect your limits, and those who don't deserve a place in your life. This mindset makes you immune to the narcissist's usual methods of control, because they can't manipulate someone who refuses to compromise their self-respect. The most terrifying part for them is knowing they can't break you down through persistence anymore. You've closed the doors they used to walk through freely, and you've locked them with keys only you control. Your boundaries are now a fortress around your peace, and no amount of pressure, charm, or intimidation can force you to lower your defenses for someone who has proven they won't honor them. One of the most powerful things a strong mind learns is that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Narcissists operate like energy vampires. They drain you emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically, until you're left exhausted and doubting yourself. But when you've grown into your strength, you become highly selective about who gets your time, attention, and emotional investment. You no longer give unlimited access to people who repeatedly take without giving. Protecting your energy means you've stopped entertaining conversations that go nowhere, arguments that exist just to provoke you, and relationships that consistently leave you feeling worse instead of better. You've realized that your peace is your most valuable currency, and you guard it like a treasure. This is terrifying to a narcissist because they can no longer casually tap into your emotions whenever they want a reaction. They have to watch from the outside as you conserve your energy for people and experiences that genuinely uplift you. This control over access is not about shutting people out completely, it's about being intentional. You've learned to recognize the difference between someone who values your presence and someone who exploits it. You set clear criteria for who is allowed into your inner circle, and you remove those who repeatedly violate your trust. Narcissists hate this because it means they can't slide back into your life after you've created distance. The revolving door they once counted on has been slammed shut. What truly unnerves them is your ability to detach without bitterness. You don't waste energy on revenge or trying to change them. You simply step back and focus on nurturing your own well-being. They can't manipulate someone who refuses to be emotionally available to their games. Your priorities have shifted from trying to fix toxic people to protecting your own mental health. When you control who has access to you, you take full ownership of your life. You decide how much time and energy you give and to whom. This self-mastery robs the narcissist of their primary source of supply, your emotional energy. They realize they no longer have a key to your inner world, and that loss is something they can't easily recover from. The ultimate power that terrifies a narcissist is your ability to leave without hesitation when a situation no longer serves your well-being. Narcissists thrive on keeping you trapped, whether through emotional manipulation, guilt, fear, or the illusion that you can't do better without them. They rely on the idea that you'll stay no matter how badly they treat you, because in their mind you need them more than they need you. But when you have a strong mind, you've completely shattered that illusion. You understand that walking away is not a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of self-worth. You no longer cling to toxic relationships out of fear of being alone, because you know solitude is far better than being surrounded by people who diminish you. You've learned that love without respect is not love, that loyalty without reciprocity is self-destruction, and that holding on to pain does not prove your strength. This clarity empowers you to step away without second-guessing yourself. When you're unafraid to walk away, you strip the narcissist of their greatest form of control, the belief that you'll endure anything to keep the connection alive. They can no longer use threats of abandonment as a weapon, because you've already chosen your peace over their chaos. They can no longer dangle the possibility of approval, reconciliation, or affection to pull you back, because you've recognized the pattern and cut the cord. The fearlessness to leave comes from trusting yourself completely. You know you can rebuild, recover, and thrive on your own. You've proven to yourself, maybe through past experiences, that endings are not the end of you. They are the beginning of a stronger, freer version of yourself. That self-trust is what unnerves a narcissist the most, because it means they have no leverage left. Your willingness to walk away creates a power shift they can't tolerate. For the first time, they realize they're the one being left behind, powerless to stop it. In their world, control is everything. And when you take that away by choosing yourself over their approval, you show them that they were never as important to your life as they believed.